Yo, Remus only, man, keep up the good juke, man. Hey, this guy fucking, he don't got 360. This fucking guy got fucking 900. So shout the man out, please. Go give him a follow.
Today we are glad to invite Ominous, the guys who could moonwalk like 40.6 seconds. Will teach us how to do moonwalk like him. Hello, Ominous.
Hello.
So, shall we start the tutorial right now, Ominous?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So, to begin with the subtopic, what is moonwalk? Would you like to show us the Would you like to show us the movement, please?
This is moonwalking right here. And to do it, you need to look behind you, or look the way you want to moonwalk and run in the opposite direction. Then press, like, let's say I'm now facing S, but I want to moonwalk forward. So I'm facing backwards and I want to moonwalk forward. So I'm gonna start pressing AD consistently, and then I'm gonna hold W like this. You see that?
Alright, I see. So, do Ominous, you have some tips for us to do or practice moonwalk more easily and longer?
Yes, I actually do. So if you want to have a long moonwalk, you should, first of all, moonwalking is harder on 60 FPS. So I recommend capping at 50. Anything above 50 is a bit hard to moonwalk. Like, you can definitely do it better at less FPS. I don't know why, but that's how the game works. Second of all, you have to press the buttons consistently. So let's say you don't press them too fast like this. The moonwalk's not going to work. You have to press them at a consistent rate, like this. You hear my buttons? I'm not pressing one too fast or one too slow, or like I'm not changing the speed. That will ruin the moonwalk. So try moonwalking with like 0.1 seconds between each click, between D and A. You can also, for beginners, spin into the moonwalk like this. It's easier to spin on the moonwalk on low ping. But for me, I think it's easier not to spin. I don't know why, I just got used to it. But for starters, I would recommend spinning into the moonwalk.
Alright. So, Ominous, so should we keep the 80-80 button to be stable or steady, right? But how fast do we keep? You say in that 1 second, right? So how do we get the timing correctly?
Well, 0.1 second between each click. Just keep trying to do the moonwalk, and then when you do it for a bit longer than usual, you realize that's when you're doing your buttons right. The hard thing about moonwalking is just pressing these buttons consistently for a long time. Your fingers will start hurting for a bit, to be honest.
Alright. So to compare with 316, which is harder? Moonwalk or 316 is more hard to compare with to the practicing?
It depends on who you're 360ing. Well, it's easier to practice moonwalking because you can just get into a kill your friends game and just moonwalk around like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention you can turn while moonwalking like this. You see this? Wait, let me try.
Yeah, but how to do it? I just could only do a straight line to it, but cannot turn around.
You cannot turn around? Well,
it's just like only do a straight line.
Well, first of all, you can't turn around in high ping. This ping is okay for me, so I'm gonna just try hitting a moonwalk where I turn. It's also harder to moonwalk while you have spin first, because you have to press the buttons faster.
Alright, I see.
Yeah. This is you can do like you can't do tight turns like I'm doing right now like this, but you can do turns like this while moonwalking. Like this.
I see.
You just have to move your camera while moonwalking.
We also need to. Oh, so which means that if you want to turn around, right? So you have to move your mouse, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
You have to move your mouse really slowly. And I think you have to balance out your character. Your character will go out of position, but I think it just requires time for you to learn how to balance your character. Like you might need to press DNA a bit faster while turning sometimes, or press D for a bit longer to like adjust your character.
Okay, I got it.
It's easier than it sounds.
Is that all the characters are the same moonwalk? The movement is. I mean the what do you call it? Is the animation. Is that all are the same?
No, the animations aren't all the same, but the processes are. So I can moonwalk with Dwight, but it'll look different. But I will be doing the same thing. Like Claudette moves more left and right than Dwight and the big male characters.
Alright, I see. I got it. So the last thing is why we have to learn moonwalk. What is the purpose of it?
You don't really have to learn the moonwalk, but it's really cool to do and fun, and it shows that you're very like skillful, I guess. If you can hit like a moonwalk 360, and like in a tournament or something, like imagine how cool that would be. And it's just.
I was thinking that the usage of it is just like.
Yes.
With.
I'm sorry. Yes, it's used to mind game the killer. Like, look, you see what I'm doing now?
Yeah.
I'm moonwalking back into the pallet, and I knock it down, and I'll end up on this side.
Yeah.
So you know, I could be here, and the killer could think I'll keep running, and I'll just moonwalk back and do it. Or when I'm pallet looping, it looks cool. What I do?
Yeah.
Well, what I do is I moonwalk towards the killer. And when I'm within lunge range, I start moving this way again, moving forward. So I moonwalk, and the killer thinks I'm gonna keep moonwalking towards him, but instead I change my direction and move forward. That's a really cool thing to do as well. It works really well. So it's just like moonwalk, pretend the car is the killer, and then I start running away.
Alright.
It'll most likely make him lunge.
So that's it, Ominous. Thank you for you taking a video for me. Really appreciate it, and hope you have a good luck with your legacy team too.
Thank you.
Hello， 我是 Remus 雷姆很感谢你们每一个能观看到底的朋友们， 这里真的很衷心感谢你们的支持。我知道这教学影片的内容可能有点不足够，我会因你们的要求，像上一次的360的教学，特别另外的录制延续的教学，例如实体的案件之类的。除此以外，我也希望你们能订阅一下我跟 Ominous 的 YouTube channel。Ominous 是我的朋友，在他的频道里也有不小的 DBD 的精华的片段。我会连同刚才引用到的所有的影片例如 Slickfoo 那个口笔的教学也放在 description 里，供你们查阅一下。最后再一次谢谢每一位的台港澳的 DBD 玩家们还在玩这个游戏。希望我这些的小技巧的教学能推动更多人继续玩下去。我之后也会做一些30秒鲜为人知的小技巧的影片，希望你们能期待一下吧。好了，终于做完这个影片了，感谢你们的观看啊！如果有任何的问题，欢迎在任何的平台加我好友发问，或者在下面的影片留言也可以。我们下一部影片再见，拜拜。